This is the EVP Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the EVP Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Beaker.
And I am one of your other hosts, Ghosty.
So if you're watching on the YouTubes, look, I'm covering it. There's Beaker. Somewhere on there.
Right there.
Right there.
Left hit.
There. in a row of beakers. It's Beaker in a beaker.
It is. Who would have thunk?
That's awesome. I used to want a tattoo like that. I wanted to have Beaker in a beaker.
Why don't you? Let's do it.
Because I'm a chicken shit.
Oh,
let's go get tattoos together.
I'm down. I'm always down.
Let's get EVP podcast tattoos.
Let's do it.
Let's not really.
I'm not scared.
I'm actually going to get the Ghostbuster symbol is what I want.
That would be cool.
So that's a great way to start the podcast, is talking about tattoos.
I'm going to get
Let's get paranormal tattoos.
I'm going to get one, actually.
Let's do it.
I'm going to get one on my leg next to this. It's like a pinup. It's going to be like a pinup girl, but she's going to be wearing like a ghost sheet.
Yo, so if y'all have we'll put it up on social media. We want to see if you have tattoos.
Ghosty tattoos.
Of ghosts. Ghost tattoos. Show them to us.
That would be pretty cool.
We'll show you ours if you show us yours.
Yeah, we'll show you what we're gonna get.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get a ghost tattoo.
Actually, I think you even have it on my saved pages here.
Well, that's cool.
Right here. I'll show you. No one else can see it. Look at those.
That's kind of cool.
Boobies.
Ooh.
Look out.
You are crazy.
I'm a crazy, wild,
crazy
guy.
boy.
Wild and crazy guy. This guy.
Did we say who we are? I'm Beaker.
Yeah, we did. And I'm Ghosty again.
Okay, just so you know who we are. Yeah.
Where are we going today?
Where are we going?
Where are we going today? Or is there stuff we need to talk about from other stuff of past?
We do have a trip in the works.
Yes, we do.
We are, like I said last week, we're gonna make Virginia City happen. It's happening. We're already planning it out. We've got a date picked, so we just have to make our reservations for hotels and whatnot. But we're
making it happen.
Gonna make it happen. I'm gonna go to the Washoe Club.
Washoe.
Washoe.
And then Washoe.
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 I still can't say it right. Washoe.
Evidence for the last of the Ritz.
Oh, do you want me to cue that up?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it.
And the Ritz did get sold off. The new owners did make our friend have to find a new home, so she can't do any more investigations. So, hopefully everything's going well on that side of things.
I know, while I look for this, our friends at Dr. Ghost Hunters, they are going to be doing kind of like a live evidence reveal of our investigation.
Yeah, when is that going to be?
In March.
In March, yes.
Yeah. So when it gets closer, we'll let y'all know. I'm sure they'll post a link. We'll post a link. But they're going to do like a live stream of like an evidence reveal, which I think is something they've never done before. So I'm actually looking forward to it. I plan on coming here to the studio after I get off work.
Yeah, we'll stream from here.
We'll stream it from our laptops, but that's something to look forward to.
That'll be pretty cool. Because I'm pretty sure they got a lot of cool evidence with all their cool ass equipment they got.
Yeah. So this is from that investigation that we're talking about from the Ritz here. I'm going to go ahead and play it. I might actually clip it in like normal, or we might just hear it from the microphone. We'll see. But here's a clip. It's about 20 seconds long, and there's actually a couple spots in here where there's a couple EVPs, I believe, are in this. So here we go.
So are there any spirits up here with us? If you want to communicate with us, you can touch that purple pinkish light. It'll turn purple and blue.
Okay, let me play it one more time, and I'm going to try to not to like rub my phone against the microphone so you're not getting that sound as well. But yeah, you can hear. I'll play it one more time, and then I'll kind of point out where it is.
Yeah, I was able to hear them.
I heard them too. I'm gonna not put it on the pop filter, so you won't get the microphone rubbing, because this is just assuming I'm not clipping it in. Oh, here we go.
So are there any spirits up here with us? If you want to communicate with us, you can touch that purple pinkish light, it'll turn purple and blue.
Okay, so for those of you watching on YouTube, you can tell when it happens because Ghosty points at the camera both times it happens.
Yeah, I go that, and I go that.
Yep. So for those of you listening to well, actually, if you can watch it on Spotify because I upload the video there too. So if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, thank you. But so the first time is, are there any ghosts in here with us? You'll hear a breath that I think it says yeah or yes.
Yeah, I think it says yeah.
And then there was, I think when I listened to the whole thing, when I actually sent it to Dr. Ghost Hunters, I think there was like 3. But in this, I'm only hearing 2 this time. But it's after he says it like turns purple or blue. You hear kind of like another sigh or some sort of response. So I'm going to play it one more time. And here we go.
Should I interact with it and say yeah?
Yeah, you can interact
All
with
right.
it. Don't do that. Hold on. Here we go.
So are there any spirits up here with us? If you want to communicate with us, you can touch that purple pinkish light. It'll turn purple and blue.
So when he says blue and it
just sounds like an exhale almost.
yeah, it almost just sounds like an exhale. But the first one was when he asked if you want to interact with us. You hear,
is there anyone here with us?
or anyone here with us? You hear like more of like a yes.
It's like a yeah. Now keep in mind, there's only 2 people in the room at this time. The guy talking and then a female. The voice I'm hearing responding almost sounds like a male. And I'll have to go back and listen to it like on my headset, the actual file itself, because I remember there being like a woman's voice in there too. It almost sounded like the 2 spirits were having a conversation, if I remember correctly. So I think I'll leave it in the way I played it right now. And then at the end of this episode, I'll put the actual file. I'll just edit it into the end.
Yeah.
To make my life a little bit easier.
So stay tuned to the end.
Instead of having to cut it out and put the audio in. So you get the audio from my cell phone right now, and then you'll get, just listen at the end. I'll put the audio from the actual file. I'll just put it in at the end.
Crisp. It'll be
Crisp, so fresh and so clean.
That's how we like it.
Yes. So that was the one that I promised you back in December. Here it is now, mid-January.
Here it is, halfway through the year already.
Yep, halfway through the year. I'm really good at keeping my word and playing stuff. So, yeah, look forward to those things. Our visit to the Wassaho Club in a couple months. Dr. Ghost Hunters live stream of their evidence review.
Might have some other investigations happen in the meantime.
Got a special guest lined up.
Yeah, we do.
I told him he was coming. There was some scheduling conflicts, but he'll be here. We got a guest. We got a really cool case that the Warrens worked on that we're going to talk about when he comes on.
Take a wild guess, folks, because there's a ton to choose from.
Over 1,000. So, and we've already talked about 4 of them.
Yeah.
So you can eliminate those 4.
Yeah, you got a
if you
chance.
don't remember what 4 of those are, then it sucks to be you, because I do. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's coming up. Now let's now that we bullshitted for 10 minutes, let's go to Australia.
Yeah,
let's go back to Australia.
Yeah,
that was terrible. I know someone's probably yelling at me on the radio right now, like that was terrible, and I agree it was. So we're going to a place called the Aradale Mental Hospital.
Ararat.
Well, it's Aradale now.
No,
not anymore, but it was. The last name it was known by was Aradale Mental Hospital, but originally, that's not what it was. It was the, the Ararat Lieutenant Lunatic Asylum.
Ararat.
It's located in Ararat, which is a rural city, a little south in southwest Victoria, Australia. Just north. It's like 2 hours north of Melbourne.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So it's gone through a couple name changes. In 1903, they changed it up. They decided to go from Ararat Lunatic Asylum to Ararat Hospital for the Insane in 1903. In 1934, they decided to rename it again to the Ararat Mental Hospital. 1958, they decided that they wanted to have a more friendly name, a more socially acceptable term.
Maybe something that's easier to say.
Right? Yeah. So they decided to have this public contest. They're like, you know what? We're going to put it out there for the people. We want to know what we should name the hospital, right?
Well, all you got to do is add Dale to it.
Yeah.
And Dale makes everything better.
So
now it's
apparently
Aradale.
Aradale Mental Hospital. So
Ararat.
It went from Ararat to Aradale.
Yeah, that sounds so much better.
Fucking creative there.
So much better.
I know. Great name. It is no longer that, but we'll get into it a little bit later. We'll talk some more about the history of this place and why people are there. So this part of Australia, not a penal colony like the rest of it was until, this gold rush of 1851 brought a lot of people into Australia by the thousands.
So not just prisoners?
Not just prisoners. Just people that kind of
voluntarily wanting to go.
They voluntarily came to Australia. And this was it's 1851. They're like, someone found gold. Everybody wanted gold. Everybody started showing up. Guess what? Not everybody get gold.
Well, Australia is probably like the most deadliest place in the world.
Everything there wants to kill you.
Yeah, and they can kill you
including
easily.
the water.
The water things will kill you. Land things will kill you.
Birds.
Yeah, everything there.
I heard it's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
The magpies are mean.
The meanest.
Mm-hmm. So people wanting to find gold, but guess what they really found?
Death.
Disappointment.
And death.
They didn't find a whole lot of gold. And it caused some people to kind of lose their minds because they're like, I fucking moved across the world. I'm dropping F-bombs today. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Move across the world from wherever they were at to find gold. They didn't find shit.
Yeah.
So people are going crazy. In the 1860s, Victoria was actually known as the maddest place on earth.
Really?
Yes. Because of all these people going crazy because they're like, I guess this gold rush was worse than the one here in California.
It's probably more of depression. I bet it was depression that they went all the way there. They didn't find anything. They're getting bit by snakes and bugs and everything in the water is trying to eat them or kill them or sting them. I mean,
yeah.
Now they're just stuck in their house.
They're just going crazy.
Uh-huh.
In the Australian desert.
Well, and then they probably moved from somewhere real cold in Europe to
probably
the heat of Australia.
They could have come from Europe. They could have come from.
They probably boxing kangaroos now.
They could have come from Americas. They could come from anywhere.
Yeah, true.
They wanted gold.
True.
They didn't get gold.
I think Americas back then were going to California.
Probably they were going to California. Why would we go across?
We got our own Australia.
Yeah, we got our own place to be disappointed
and get killed by everything.
So they had the insane criminals were placed in normal prisons, and they weren't given very much proper care. The government of Victoria they wanted to relieve the prison system of those thought to be criminally insane. So to accommodate the growing number of quote unquote lunatics or the imported insanity, because all these people importing themselves for gold. Mm-hmm. The Ararat Lunatic Asylum, as well as its two sister asylums, the Kew
Beechworth
and Beechworth, they were commissioned.
I heard those are super haunted as well. Maybe
most likely. We could probably do episodes on the other two.
Yeah,
as well,
I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos and they were investigating those.
The reason why I picked Aradale is because it's supposed to be the most haunted of the three. Probably
because it's the mother.
Wait, hold on. It's the claim. It is the mother. It was they kind of started building all three of these at the same time, but Aradale or Ararat was the first one finished. So it's kind of like the mothership of these
clones.
Lunatic asylums.
The clone lunatic asylum.
Right? And they were the way they were built, they were in a triangle throughout Victoria.
Something a clone would, sounds like clones.
Yep. The clones. But this is supposedly, and I'm sure when we do research on the other two, they'll say the same thing. But this is supposedly the most haunted place in all of Australia.
Are they on the same grounds? Or are they off in different sections of the city?
The three different asylums?
Uh-huh.
They're miles apart. They're a little ways apart.
The Lunatic Triangle.
The Lunatic Triangle.
Maybe we're onto something.
Yeah. People get lost there. They actually did. I mean, in these asylums, people, they kind of went in the system and they got lost in the system. Oh, no. So, so they started building this. depending on which of the 4 websites I looked at, anywhere from 1860 to 1865 is when they started building this. I kind of went off of Aradale's website, 1863, 1864 is when it was starting. They started construction on this. The guard towers that are currently standing, those are said to have been built in 1866. Construction finished in 1867. However, they started putting patients in there as early as 1865, so before they even finished building this place. The first patient that was admitted there, like I said, in 1865, she was a 28-year-old woman named Matilda Henry. Now, she was administered under the assumption that she suffered from dementia at 28 years old. She lived there for 40 years.
She's probably one of those orphans that nobody adopted.
It's at 28.
Yeah.
She was an orphan at 28.
Yeah.
That no one adopted, so they put her in Aradale.
Well, she probably didn't have she probably had a mental disease. And
well, they didn't really understand mental illness back there. So
exactly.
you're probably right. She probably had some sort of mental illness.
Kind of autism or something.
Right. But they put her in for dementia at 28 years old. That's not very common.
Yeah, they probably didn't know how to name it.
Right. So there was actually 2 other women that were under the age of 35 as well that were being treated for the same reason. The asylum itself was built over 250 acres, and it was built as a town within a town. It had its own market, it had its own gardens, it had an orchard, it had vineyards, and it had a piggery, as well as other areas for other livestock. Now, originally, this place was built to accommodate 250 people, and within the first year, it had over 300 people in there. So they were already overpopulated. And just like any other like hospital or prison that we've talked about on this show, overpopulation, overcrowding was a problem. At the height of its operation, which was, I believe, in 1959, this place had over 500 staff members and over 1,000 prisoners.
But by then they had more buildings, though, right?
They had more buildings by then. They kept building on it as the years went. Eventually, grew up to be 63 buildings old.
63 buildings old.
It grew. They grew to have a total of 63 buildings, and these buildings range in age from the 1860s when it was originally commissioned and built, all the way up to 1991 with the modern forensic unit. That's the last building that was built, which is funny because this is 2 years before they shut the place down.
So I wonder why they would have gallows.
I have no idea.
Unless they were holding some weird.
They had gallows, so they had gallows, a morgue, and a graveyard on site. Gallows doesn't make sense because it was supposed to be a place to rehabilitate people that were insane. And
excuse me.
And the gallows to me doesn't make any sense, but that's what they had apparently. So
yeah, explain yourselves, Ararat.
Yeah, Ararat. Why did you have gallows?
Yeah, Shay.
I mean, you're a town with a town. I guess they needed everything because they're like, you know what? We have a market. We need a way to kill people too. So
I heard they even had over 13,000 deaths.
13,000 of the 130 years of this place's operation. That's including patients and staff members and just people that were there. Well,
I was hearing they were really, really cruel to the inmates or patients. They're not even inmates; they were patients.
Yeah, they were patients, but they called them inmates,
which is weird.
Yeah, right.
So
originally they called them inmates. I'm sure eventually when they renamed it to mental hospital, they were patients, but originally they were considered inmates, which is insane. At the insane asylum.
For an insane asylum, that's pretty insane. So some of the cruel treatment they would do electroconvulsive therapy.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they would do ice baths. And I think they would even do ice baths. They'd probably electrocute them in the ice baths.
That would be crazy.
But then they would do tons of lobotomies.
Yeah, good old lobotomies. That was the rage back in the day.
They didn't. I don't think they knew what they were doing because a lot of the lobotomies they would try to do there would end up in death.
That was kind of everywhere.
Yeah, true.
Like everywhere, lobotomies. I don't think it was a very successful medical procedure.
Right. I think the
basically,
success rate was really low.
We're gonna cut your head open, scramble your brain up a little bit. That's gonna fix you,
and then set you on your way.
To have fun. Good luck, Timmy.
Why can't he walk right? What's wrong with him? But the ice baths. I wonder what the ice baths were for. Like the ice baths were gonna fix you?
I don't know. It was just shock your system. I have no idea.
Very strange.
So one of the things that they built on this place, I thought this was pretty interesting when I first heard about it. Have you ever heard about the ha-ha walls?
Ha-ha walls?
Ha-ha walls. Like,
because there's ghosts in them?
No.
No, what's wrong? What's the ha-ha walls?
So the ha-ha walls, they were built on a trench. There was a trench that went around the hospital, or like kind of like a moat, right?
Okay.
So on the outside of the hospital, it was just like a plane, right? Just a regular flat plane, right? So on the outside, the wall looks maybe like 4 feet tall, right?
Okay.
On the inside, that shit was sloped, right?
Oh.
So kind of like, the best way I can describe it is kind of like when you go to the zoo and you're looking into an enclosure of an animal, like the wall's not that high for you, but it's like super high for the animals, right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the visualization
Ararat.
At Ararat of the ha-ha walls. So basically on the outside, passersby, they didn't think it looked like a prison. It just looked like, a place with a fence around it. But because of the way it was commissioned, they kept these prisoners or these inmates, patients from escaping. By 1884, it was home to many people who would not have been institutionalized in Scotland or England. So basically, like things that normally wouldn't get you put into a mental hospital, here at Ararat, they're just like, whatever reason, we're going to throw you in. There's a lot of lists of reasons, or there's a big list of reasons here. A lot of lists of reasons. Some of the things that they got put in there for is if they were born with physical abnormalities.
Abnormalities.
I'm on a roll today. People that were traumatized by their misfortunes during the gold
Depression.
rush. So depression. Yeah, there were people that were showing signs of unwanted behavior, such as perceived promiscuity.
So nymphomaniacs.
Yeah. If you look like you wanted to have a good time with somebody, or if you were homosexual,
also
you're insane.
Insane.
Yep. They would also throw people in there that had suffered from addiction, postpartum depression, or people that they felt were simply just in the way.
So I heard some of the men could put their wife in there for talking back, and they could put their wife in there for just not doing what they want to do, or if they just get sick of their wife or something, they could lock their wife up with just 2 signatures.
Yep.
Them and one of their buddies.
So that wasn't just at Ararat. That was like all of Australia, right? All you need is 2 signatures. So all they have to do is be like, hey, you don't like this person either? Let's get them signed in. Like some of the other things that you could get people put in for is if they had depression, if they had autism, if they had anxiety, if they had PTSD, epilepsy, and even Down syndrome.
And then the nymphomaniacs are just running amok.
Right. And I don't think they really separated these people. They just put everyone in general population.
Put them all in an aquarium together with a ha-ha wall.
Yep. But like you said, all it took was 2 signatures.
And then 8 signatures to get them out.
8 signatures to get them out.
That's crazy.
So like me and you could get DVO put in.
Easily.
Yeah.
For talking back.
Right. And not being here.
Yeah. For not recording.
Not recording.
Must be crazy.
He's crazy. Let's get him locked up.
Yeah. DVO's getting locked up.
But if you guys want him out, you're going to have to band together.
Yeah. Finding 8 of you in the same room. Doubt it.
Good luck.
Unless you're at a potluck.
Yeah. In June. So a lot of the patients here, they were neglected. They were abused. They did the treatments that you said already.
Or electroconvulsive therapy.
Yep. Let's see. It looks like in December of 1886, the old jail that was there in Ararat, they decided it was now J Ward and made it a part of the asylum. And this place was for people who would normally be detained in jails or reformatories or other places of confinement. and they also appeared to be insane.
Okay, so that sounds like they did have a jail there for the inmates that they took from the regular jail.
Not at first, though. This was
okay.
So 67. So this is like 20 years later.
Yeah, they figured their shit out.
I guess the old jail wasn't really being used as much, so they kind of took it over. Okay. And they're like, okay, this is ours now, and we're going to use it as our jail for like the really criminally insane people
with depression
and
anxiety.
Yep. There was a couple notorious criminals that were kept in the J ward, including Gary Webb, Mark Chopper Reed, and William or Bill Wallace. I'll go over Bill Wallace if you want to talk about Gary, and then I'll talk about Mark.
Okay.
Or do you want to do it the other way around? Do you want to talk about Bill, and I'll talk about Gary?
You go ahead and talk about Bill, and I'll talk about Gary.
Okay. I figured you'd like to talk about Gary. So Bill Wallace, he was actually never tried or convicted, but he was suspected of murder, and he allegedly shot a friend over an argument about a cigarette. He was declared insane by 2 doctors, because like we said, 2 signatures, and this was in 1925. Now, he was sent to Aradale for 64 years, and he was to be held at the governor's pleasure. And he ended up dying there at the age of 107 in 1989.
Held at the governor's pleasure.
So the governor could just be like, you know what?
Give him another 10.
Yep. So whenever the governor decided he wanted to free him, apparently he didn't, because he was there for 64 years.
I like how these judges operated back then.
Yeah, it's 1925. It's like, I do what I want.
All right, let's talk about Gary Webb.
Okay.
All right, he was caught. He was about to rob a pizza shop when he was spotted by a policeman. He shot the policeman and the woman who owned the shop. He was sentenced to 14 years and was told that when he behaved well, his sentence would be reduced. He then started writing letters to the media telling them all the horrible things he was planning to do once he got out. Politicians were worried, and a special law was passed to keep him locked up for the rest of his life. He became a self-mutilator and was hospitalized over 70 times after cutting himself.
70 times?
70 times. He even cut off his own penis 3 times. Third time, it was too damaged to reattach. He still haunts his former room, yelling at people to get out.
He also pushes them out of the room at the same time.
With no wiener either.
Yeah, no
I bet
wiener.
you his ghost has no wiener.
That's probably why he's yelling at people to get out. He's like, I don't want you to see me.
We should take some video. There's some videos on YouTube. And let's have our friend Brandy take a look at him. See if he's running around without a wiener.
Well, he probably has clothes on. I'm sure he died with clothes on. I don't think he died naked.
Maybe he bled out while naked.
But I don't know. So the next famous or notorious inmate that's staying in J ward was a dude named Mark Chopper Reed, and he was a convicted criminal. He was a gang member and an author. He wrote a series of semi-autobiographical fictional crime novels and children's books. There was a 2000 movie named Chopper, which is based on his life. We could do a whole episode on all the crimes that this guy did. There was so much about him. So
what if he wrote a semi-autographical fictional children book?
I think it was. I think it was children's books were separate from.
I know. I'm just saying. What if he merged them together?
I don't know.
Semi-autographical fictional.
I kind of want to look up some of the books that he wrote now.
Right.
Yeah, apparently, he wrote crime novels, fictional crime novels that were kind of about his life.
Kind of like.
I mean, this dude did a lot of shit. There was so much on his list of when I pulled up his criminal history on Wikipedia, there was so much on there. I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna very brief.
When OJ wrote that book, if I had done it, all his books are, if I had done this.
But they didn't make a movie on OJ.
They will, I bet.
They made a movie on Chopper.
20 more years.
So it operated all the way up till 1993. However, after it shut down, it still remained as a jail for female prisoners up until 1998.
And then in 2001, became the Melbourne Polytechnic Training Centre, when the Victorian government provided $7.4 million to Melbourne's Polytechnic.
In 2002, about 74 acres of vineyard and 24 acres of olive grove were planted, and then a little bit later, an olive processing facility and a winery were built on site. There's also a lavender farm and extensive training facilities.
So did all those other things that they originally start on this land just kind of go away and more buildings get thrown up.
Possible.
The piggery was gone.
The piggery probably went away.
Probably the first thing to go away.
All the livestock probably went. Because, when they start overcrowding and overpopulating and they start building extra buildings, they're probably going to lose some of the stuff. So, it sounds like, originally they had a vineyard. So they most likely got rid of that at some point in time. And then when they rebuilt it, they planted a new vineyard.
A world-class wine and hospitality training facility.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
We've already gone over the 13,000 people that died
13,000 deaths occurred.
There is still like ghost tours and stuff that you can do there.
Yeah. A couple years ago, I heard that it went anywhere from like $40-ish, $45-ish to $180.
So
is that crown dollars, or how's their dollars work there?
I don't know. Is it pounds?
Pounds, crowns,
I have
jewels?
no idea. I'm a little
rupees. Do they have rupees there?
I'm a little not smart when it comes to foreign currency.
Zero smart when it comes to
I know Canada has loonies and toonies. That's about it. I don't know foreign currency. I know pounds. There's the euro. Like Europe has like 40 different currencies, I think. I don't know. I'm sure there's someone yelling at me saying, you're wrong, and I probably am.
I know I'm wrong a lot.
Me too. I'm wrong a lot with half the words I was saying tonight.
But you can see why there's a lot of ghosts there at Ararat.
13,000 deaths.
13,000 deaths in just 100 years-ish.
130.
130 years-ish.
And by EVP standards, because it's over 100 years.
And it's in Australia, which is newer like the U.S.
So, the place itself was in operation for over 130 years, but add another 20. So we're like 150 years old at this point.
Here in the U.S.?
No, the hospital.
The hospital, yeah.
The building itself.
Yeah.
Originally, we're like 150 years. Haunted.
Haunted.
It meets the EVP standards of being haunted.
For sure. So,
what haunts there?
So there are ghosts there.
Are there? I sure hope so.
There's lots of ghosts, and then there's the ones that they know of. These are the ones that they know of.
Okay.
Governor Fiddamont, who died of a heart attack in 1886 while showing a group of people around. He was coming down the stairs when it happened. He died on the spot. What happened? People say hear heavy footsteps and banging on the stairwell, but when they go to take a look, no one is there.
No, dun dun dun.
So he died of a heart attack in 1886.
Yeah, walking down the stairs, just like showing people around. He's the governor. He was the last governor of this place, I guess.
That sucks for all the people that were like, what is he doing?
Which doesn't make sense because the other governor had the discretion on when that guy would get released. So, yeah, walking down the stairs, and all of a sudden he's just like, bleh, dead.
Oh, well, he probably ended up just eating it and going all the way down. People probably thought he died from the fall.
Probably.
That sucks. There's 3 men that were hung in the J ward, and their bodies were buried in the walls.
Yep.
That's kind of creepy.
That's the rumor.
That's a rumor. I wouldn't doubt it, though.
But I'm pretty sure it happened.
Yeah, they probably need filler. These bodies will make good filler here. Calls for help come from empty cells. Apparitions of patients often seen. People leave because overwhelming sensations of sadness and extreme nausea. And that would happen a lot in this one superintendent office, where the superintendent killed himself in his office. And take a guess what this dude drank to kill himself with.
It wasn't just regular cyanide.
It was hydrogen cyanide.
Hydrogen cyanide or acidic cyanide.
Yeah, or
acid cyanide.
Yeah. So it was really bad. Really bad. And now people, when they're investigating, they'll get like a foul taste in their mouth. They'll get a feeling of nausea, and they want to leave. And in the J ward, people do get hit and they get bitten. Clocks can be heard ticking when there are no clocks in there. Stuart, who was a young boy, was a cook, and he hangs out in the kitchen there, and he's a known kid, spirit. And then there's Nurse Carrie, and she is well known in the women's ward. And she's, as an employee there, she was known to be cruel and nasty like everyone else, but I guess she stood out as being pretty bad. So even in death, as a spirit, she haunts there, and she will stare right at you and just make you feel uncomfortable and want to leave.
What a jerk.
I know. I hate her already. She belongs to Ararat. But
apparently more ghosts in nurses' uniforms have been seen throughout the hospital. Some people have experienced a tingling sensation on one side of their head inside a certain room. The certain room was used. It's one of the shock therapy wards.
Well, I bet.
In the J ward as well, people say they hear methodical bangings on the wall if someone was like banging their head on the wall.
Methodically,
yes. And the 3 dudes that were like supposedly buried in the wall, they weren't given a Christian burial, and their graves are only marked by 3 scratches on the wall in the prison. So I think that's where the rumor came from. I mean, like I said, it's entirely possible they were buried in the walls, and they're like, "Here lies these 3 guys."
I think it was pretty. I think they did a lot in a lot of places. I'm sure the Great Wall of China is lined with bodies.
Yes.
But yeah, this place is super haunted. Apparently, a lot of people investigating have had a lot of experiences there with getting hit, scratched, bitten. Things have been thrown. There's a lot of videos of investigations there.
There's so many videos on this place. There's actually one video that's pretty long. Is a guy. It's very informative. This is a guy giving a tour to a group of people, and someone was filming the tour. So
okay, I did see a lot of these tour ones.
I remember when I first looked into this place a little over a year ago on their website, they had like a virtual tour that you could take. I wasn't finding it this time.
I think. Yeah, I didn't see any virtual tours, but I did see a lot of people who recorded their tour.
Yeah, there was a lot of that, a ton of that. But this place, like, I kind of want to go there, but I kind of don't, because I've been to prisons before, and I can only just imagine how much negative energy is like in the walls of this place.
I do want to go here, but there's a lot of places still here on the East Coast that I want to go to first. But this would be on the list that I do want to go to once I conquer America.
Yes. Oh, when we go to Aradale and we can swing over to Port Arthur, I have no idea how close they are to each other. But, you know.
They're probably... We can ride a kangaroo there, I'm sure.
You can do regular tours there. Looks like $22 for an adult, $18 for concessions. Children under 6.
But if you want to do the ghost tours, the ghost tours double.
Yeah, so the walking tours are just about 2 hours, but yeah, I don't see the ghost tours. $22 Australian. I don't know how much that is though.
Australian rupees.
Australian rupees. Yes.
What? Anything else about Aradale and Ararat?
Ararat. I don't think so.
We want to say thanks to B-Dog last week for coming on and telling some stories. He did forget a couple stories, so maybe we'll have him come on another time and be a guest host. And
oh, it's still there.
Is it?
Yeah, the virtual tour is still on their website. A little digging, but you can do a virtual tour of J Ward. And I remember that place when sorry to interrupt you. I'm like
Squirrel.
Ararat.
Ararat.
Sounds like a scratching record. Ararat.
But yeah, B-Dog, we may have you come back on, tell a couple more stories for us.
I had a feeling that he left some stuff out.
Oh, I know he left some stuff out, but I didn't know how much he was wanting to tell.
That's okay. If you come on the show, we're only going to make you tell what you want to tell, and then
we'll tickle it out of you,
and then we'll guilt you into telling more. No, I feel like he has a lot more interesting stories to share. So if he's willing to come back, that would be awesome.
And he does want to do some investigations with us too, so we'll have him come along with us for some of those.
We'll take him to Ararat.
And then what else? We'll have some more fun stuff coming up and more guests, and we'll go do some fun stuff and tell you all about it.
So do it. Check out the Ararat website.
And then check out us on social media.
Check out the virtual tour, and after you've done that, do what Ghosty just said. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at evp.pod. Or if you want to send us an email, if you've been to Ararat, you can contact us at evp.pod@gmail.com. And after you've done that,
go get a Ghosty tattoo or
check out our affiliate link to ghoststop.com. Buy some ghost hunting gear, and you can come ghost hunting with us.
And if you already have a ghost tattoo, don't forget to send us a picture
Send a picture of your ghost tattoo.
Yeah, or come get a ghost tattoo with us.
Maybe you can guilt me into getting a tattoo.
Yeah, he needs to get a tattoo.
I've been wanting one. I've been too chicken shit to get one.
So come check out the sticker I have. It's You see, the Ghostbuster logo that you were talking about?
Yeah.
It's the backside of the Ghostbuster logo.
I don't want that.
You should get that.
I'll get it on one side.
Yes.
On each side of my arm.
Yes.
All right. Yo, thanks for listening to our episode on Ararat.
Ghosty, don't play that.
Peace out, butterflies.
This is the EVP Podcast.
So, are there any spirits up here with us? If you want to communicate with us, you can touch that purple pinkish light. It'll turn purple and blue. That way we'll know you're here. Or if you want to have some real fun, Chad's down in theater 2 in the dark.
All by himself.
Just go tug on his pant leg, pull on his shirt,